Hey, Gestalt Education Nation. New sponsor alert. Today, we're excited to announce Dynamic Disc Designs and Jerome Fryer. We have an awesome discount code for you. Just use the code Gestalt to get a little bit of money off on the Dynamic Disc Designs. They're the most realistic anatomical discs that we've ever seen. If you caught our episode with Dr. Stuart McGill, you saw an entire shelf full of them. Everything from cavitation instruction to disc dysfunction to SI joint dysfunction, all sorts of amazing
joint
stuff.
movement,
Yes,
vertebral movement.
Absolutely. So go to Dynamic Disc Designs, use the code Gestalt. As always, you can use the code Gestalt on Core 360 belt to get a little discount on the belts there. We love to use that for biofeedback for teaching respiration, intra-abdominal pressure, and how the abdominal wall should be working during function. And then the last one, use the code Gestalt Education 10. Those will all be in the description in the podcast. Gestalt Education 10 at humanlocomotion.com to get off some money off of all of his awesome gadgets and tools and rehab materials. What's your favorite, Brett?
He's got a trunk full, but I think, integrating the Toe Pro in, I think, has been a game changer for us here at the office. So I think that would be my pick.
Beautiful. All right, guys, don't forget, use the code Gestalt, Gestalt Education 10. Visit the show notes and you'll be hooked up. Thanks. Enjoy the episode. All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of the Gestalt Education Show. I about messed up my intro. How many times have I done that now? And I about messed it up for the first time. So today we are sitting down with one of our favorite interns of all time for our next series of our Young Guns, Matheau Denner.
There we go.
So Matheau was our intern for, how long were you with us?
A while.
3 trimesters, basically, right?
Yeah, because I was skipping class at Logan just to hang out with you guys. Started coming on Fridays. That was just a blast because Fridays are always fun. And then hanging out with you guys after. And then, just being there, I'm like, oh, I got, what am I doing in class? So yeah, it was pretty much 3 trimesters that driving to Troy and hanging out with you guys. It was awesome.
Yeah. So, today, obviously with our Young Guns, we're going to talk about, you've been in practice for 5 months. We don't like to boast a lot. Brett, I know you have a hard time kind of boasting about yourself and stuff like that, but we're going to kind of boast on the internship and kind of talk through it. We honestly want to know your feedback and kind of what you took away from it. And so we'll kind of get into that. But you are from Charlotte. You decided to move back to Charlotte, open up your own practice. And so 5 months into it, give us the real deal. How's things going? What were some of your early struggles and some of your
biggest
early
surprises?
Lessons? Yeah, early lessons and stuff.
Yeah, 5 months. So a lot of struggles so far, but it's been good. Expected what I've taught to people. Just crazy opening up from scratch is an insane thing to me because you don't really appreciate all the time and kind of outside stuff outside the treatment room that you got to do.
Yeah.
And then you get in the treatment room and high stakes because you only got a couple of patients. You want to make a huge impact, build a little bit of a network. So it's been fun. It's been good, but just getting people in the door to show them what I do compared to everybody else, I would say is the biggest struggle because they see chiropractic, they associate that with whatever in the area. Until they kind of come into the office and see what I do, I would say that's the biggest struggle there.
It is. I can reflect on that too. Even the first year in practice for me, that was literally the hardest thing. You meet all these people like, oh my gosh, you're such a good dude. I'm going to send everybody to you. I'm going to send my cousin, he's got this, and my son, he needs to see you for this. And then, 3 months later, nothing.
Yeah.
So like
one thing you'll learn, the people that tell you they're going to refer a bunch of people never will. The person you helped 0 will send you 100 people. It is like the weirdest phenomenon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and then what are some of your target audience, Matheau? Like, who are you going for? What, I know that you're an ATC as well. So are you targeting the young athlete or kind of what's your market share, what you're trying to get people in?
Yeah, for sure. Soccer is a big one for me. Grew up playing it. Big soccer community in Charlotte. A lot of athletes, a lot of older people playing in different leagues. If you remember, I played in La Liga Latina.
That's
Shout
right,
out
in St. Louis.
In St. Louis while I was interning with you guys. Crazy stories from that league. But no, I would say, young athletic soccer population. I love treating, but I love, like you guys, a lot of different conditions and, really helping out everybody.
Cool. What about, all right, so you're 5 months into this. If you go back maybe to when you started your internship or maybe in that time where you're transitioning, what advice would you give yourself? Like, so it'd be almost like a year and a half or 2 years ago. Like, what would you give your advice to that self of yours?
Just enjoy it. I mean, I had a blast. I felt like I enjoyed it. I don't know if I could enjoy it anymore. I'd probably, be in some trouble because, I mean, I was basically sleeping at the office. That's how much I wanted to be there. And, it was so much fun. So, advice going through it. The amount of stuff I learned was insane. I mean, without the internship and that program, I don't even know where I would be right now. Just because you learn all this stuff going through school and then to actually see it, in practice done by you guys and then, working with different cases. It was amazing.
Cool. I think too, like besides the treatment side of it, like when things aren't going the way that you want, like knowing what to say to people.
100%.
How to keep them, on board with what you're trying to do, even when things aren't going the way that you want. And, because when you're young, I feel like when the cases start to not go well, there's a tendency for them to kind of fall off the schedule. And then as you get better with your words, then things may not be going the way that you want, but you're able to keep them on board with what you're trying to create and, keep beating that functional drum and keep them on board.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I think one of the cool, unique things of our internship that we've tried to create is create literally a family. So like you're forever a part of us, of the office, of Brett and stuff like that. And I mean, the list goes on and on. People that have been on this podcast and who haven't, of a pretty good line of people that we expect big things out of and stuff. But I think that that's one of the best things Brett and I do is we're able to have fun and kind of include people, but also be serious and kind of, create a learning environment. And so hopefully that's kind of what we did. But maybe, I know we kind of talked about some, but what, other than the things we talked about, what were some of your big takeaways from the internship or things that you still kind of think about and as far as the clinical side goes? Yeah,
integration immediately comes to mind. Just because, you learn everything separately, right, in school and stuff. But you guys do an amazing job of just integrating everything. So hitting all the high notes, taking some stuff from this method, integrating it with, other stuff is huge for me because you only have so much time with the patient and you got to really be good at each kind of method to integrate it well. So that's definitely something I took away from you guys. It's just being really good at a lot of different things to, get the end goal of getting them better.
Perfect. I thought Mathew was special too because you weren't officially an MPI rep or an R2P rep officially, were you?
No.
So like even though like you knew those two worlds really well, you showed up. I didn't know you very well. You'd been to a couple courses and stuff, and I think like you're a perfect example of like you did such a good job, and like you just forever left your legacy in our office because you did such a good job, and you actually had a little bit different pathway in. Because usually they're MPI reps or R2P reps, so like you kind of got in there and just crushed it. And then, when you left, we had a void. Like, we had so many patients that were like, that missed you and the other, the group that you were with. Because you guys, besides being good individually, speaking of integration, I felt like your team actually, Fab Five, as you call yourselves, I thought you guys all like kind of clicked together. And I think that also makes for a better experience. Like, even if you come out, you're going to have a good experience anyways. But I feel like if you have the right people around you in the internship, I think it makes it better.
Yeah, I totally agree. Being back in that, back room with Danielle and, all of us back there.
The penalty box back there.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you didn't have that, mesh of us, it wouldn't have worked as well.
Yeah. And I think 30 years from now, Nate, you'll still talk to Nate,
Marshall, everybody, Matt Spence, everybody. Yeah,
for sure. It was a special group, and that's always the goal, is to try to get a bunch of good people together, and then you guys go off and do amazing things, which obviously you're going to. So that's incredible. What about what's the biggest thing you missed from the office or from being in the internship?
Probably the goat house. For sure. No, I don't know. Just you guys and Troy, and it's a special place.
Cornhole,
yeah. Big stickies.
Fridays.
Yep, Fridays for sure. Yeah, all of that. It was a blast looking back. It was awesome.
Yeah, I love it. And then what's maybe your 5-year goal, Dinner? Like, where do you see your office being? Like, what's kind of the trajectory of your practice? And, in 5 years, when you look back, what are you going to be excited about, or what are you going to be excited if you accomplish?
Yeah, I'm just excited about learning more, in practice stuff. Here now, exercise 1, still something I could take away, which is amazing. So yeah, just getting better at the craft and getting better at some of these methods and integrating it. Really, yeah.
Tell us, we'll do 2 fun things. We'll do your most embarrassing story so far, patient-wise, and then your best one, the one that you're most proud of.
All right, let me think about the most embarrassing.
Sorry to interrupt your episode, guys. I have to tell you about an important date to write down in your calendar, November 3rd through the 5th, the first annual Neurodynamics World Congress coming to you at Parker University in Dallas, Texas, November 3rd through the 5th. This is an amazing opportunity to see a true Gestalt weekend, meaning integration of multiple different people, multiple different techniques of the likes of Michael Leahy, Antonio Stecco, Brett Winchester talking about DNS, Annie O'Connor talking about pain classification mechanisms, David Seaming talking about the internal chemistry, Jeff Bove talking about the research around nerves, and of course Michael Shacklock talking about neurodynamics. This weekend at Parker University, November 3rd through the 5th is your opportunity to see not only lectures, but hands-on demonstrations and panel discussions at the end of every day to combine this all together to show how each of these different techniques is influencing the nervous system. This is an amazing opportunity to see all these people in one stage and one opportunity to have some fun with us in Gestalt education. So thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode, and we can't wait to see you at Parker University. It's November 3rd through the 5th. Registration open at gestaltedu.com/courses. See you there.
For those, I definitely got one.
Okay,
I got embarrassing stories, but go ahead, give me a little filler.
Well, I was going to give you a filler of if there are students that are interested in, we get questions about the internship all the time. If you're interested in joining us, or if you want to apply, if it works out for our schedule. If you go to gestaltedu.com/internship, that'll give you, you just fill out a little Google form for us, and that way we can kind of contact you and make sure that it works for the schedule. But we're open to anybody. We kind of have a little bit of a selection process behind the scenes that we'd like people to have certain skills and, everything that we talk about on this podcast. Involved with Motion Palpation Institute, DNS, Neurodynamics, McKinsey, things like that. And so bringing skills is kind of important because it's very hands-on. It's very patient-centered, meaning that you're working with people hands-on. You're working with them with the doctors and case management. And so we kind of expect a lot. But if you're interested, please go to that. So anyway, here's your filler. So your most embarrassing and the thing you're most proud of.
So not actually in practice, but outside in the real world. I've been told, I don't know if this is true, I look young. But I get it all the time. That's definitely
you're used to that.
So it's not embarrassing for me a little bit, but I mean, just being out in the real world and setting up a table or something, working a marathon and getting asked the question,
"Are you in high school?"
Yeah. What? Are you graduating high school? Are you graduating Marvin Ridge? I'm like, sometimes I just roll with it. Like, oh yeah, I'm graduating Marvin Ridge next year, like the high school in the area. I'm like, oh, all right. And then it's like, all right, they're gone. They're lost. Most embarrassing. Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't say, anything in practice I can kind of remember that, would be embarrassing, but I get that. I get that a ton.
I love it. And then what about your best story or the thing you're most proud of?
Yeah. Mackenzie Miracle was perfect in my practice. I think it was like the first month in, shoulder complaint, painful, kind of AC joint, area. Orthos told her she needs surgery on her AC joint. And, she was like freaking out, had pain for 2 years. Just did extensions with her. I think I did 20 reps, pain totally gone. I skipped cervical for some reason. I just, I didn't go for cervical spine. I just went right to the shoulder, repped it out.
I'd be proud of you for having the wisdom to be able to do that.
That's right. That's a clinical
you don't always have to start with the spine.
Yep.
Yeah, so went right to the shoulder, did some extensions. Luckily, got a miracle with that because pain went to 0, overhead movement 0. You know how it is. They give you that look like, what,
holy shit, like what happened?
What did you just do to me?
Right.
So that's definitely what I'd be most proud of right now because that was just a fun moment.
Very cool. What about Mathew, for the other people that are maybe Chiro and ATC, how are you utilizing those joint licensure together and kind of any would you suggest going that route? Maybe if someone's listening that is considering chiropractic, does the ATC give you some stuff that maybe you didn't get in your chiropractic degree and things like that? Like where does all that kind of fit in?
Yeah. Oh, I felt like going through my ATC and, doing that in undergrad, as soon as I got to chiropractic school, I felt, well above most students at that time, just because I had so much hands-on in the treatment room, on the field, and then just seeing a lot of that stuff. So if you can do it, I would definitely recommend it on a clinical side of things, because when you try one and you're trying to palpate or, just do anything, like you're kind of awkward with it. So you get rid of all of that just by going through 4 years of undergrad and, kind of getting your feet wet in the field there. Yeah, right now working with some sports teams, the UPSL, some semi-pro soccer teams that are really low level, but it's good for the community and getting out there. So I do some ATC stuff with them, and kind of integrate it with chiropractic care, do a little treatment, and then on field, medical coverage.
Well, it helped you too going through chiro school because you were utilizing that to get some extra cash on the side, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
So even right now, I'm sure picking up some ATC shifts
100%.
isn't terrible for floating it while you're still building and stuff like that.
Yeah. The hockey games I used to cover after leaving work, 3 hockey games sitting in the rink. Good money, but oh my God, it's so painful to watch. Yeah, those high school games. But no, it was fun. It was good. Yeah.
Sometimes the younger clinicians, I feel like they struggle with the functional piece, myself included when I was young, meaning like, because you're not one to be lumped in with all the chiropractors having to see you too much. You're trying to carve out your reputation. However, it's a little bit challenging to change function in 1 or 2 visits. How are you reconciling all of that? Has it been a challenge for you or not so much? Or
I think like the functional piece was huge for me. The kind of like from you guys, you especially, like just preaching function. Because like when stuff isn't going right initially, when I'm not getting a crazy,
you're not getting your McKinsey
extensions in there.
Yeah, exactly. It's just such a great path to tell them like, here's a trigger point. Here's how your joints are moving. And then once they feel that and it's a little bit of improvement over time, I'm telling them just your pain's going to come along with it. Yeah. So like just getting that buy-in of, this is moving right. This is feeling great. This trigger point's gone. And then that's immediately buy-in for them to kind of stick around and, ride it out a little bit longer.
Nice.
Perfect. I love it. Mathew, you're a gem. We love you. We accomplished everything you need to in this Young Guns, which was pumping you up a little bit, talking about the internship. Any last closing thoughts on the internship, or any last give us, so we don't have to sell it. Give us a selling point of why people should do it.
Yeah, it shouldn't need a selling point. You just got to do it. I mean, if you have the opportunity and you can have the means, if you're not in St. Louis, to live out in St. Louis and the Troy area, I mean, do it. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. I mean, just the courses alone that I, took just hanging out over the weekends, like that in itself is well beyond worth the internship. And then you're there every day. So, I can't preach about it enough. It was really awesome.
Love it. Mathew, I can't wait to, we'll be interviewing him in a couple of years when he explodes and when he does this awesome things. And so we can't wait for that. And we're proud of you, man. I know that opening up like you did, like it is tough sledding. And so I know you're kind of in the thick of it right now, but we're proud of you. You just got to keep pushing forward, and you're forever a part of our family, and we love you forever for that. And we appreciate all the time that you spent helping us grow when you were in the clinic. We learned a lot from you too. And so we really, really appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Any closing thoughts, Winnie?
No, just that, I love Matthew's story just because he had kind of a different path in. And the thing that we always work out in the office is life as a tryout. I feel like a lot of people they're only doing things like when they think people are watching. I think you were a good example of just always doing the right thing no matter what. And I think good things happen to people who, will do that. And your generation, for a bunch of different reasons, COVID being one of them, you just have had a completely different experience through chiropractic education. So it's a little bit challenging for the kind of the COVID group, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I agree. Like half of it is showing up, and you showed up. There was lots of times that maybe you cheated your trip a little bit going home. You'd stay late and be with patients, or you'd come in early if I had an early patient repeat or something like that. And so
cover a game
a game for us. Oh yeah, randomly.
Shout out Troy High School.
Yeah, shout out to Brandon Mundell for sticking with that. But I just think you did everything that we asked of you, and I think there's a huge lesson learned. I think if you keep doing that, like, holy smokes, you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna change the world. So we love you, and thanks a lot.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I hope you learned something. If you're interested in the internship, gestaltedu.com/internship, and good luck with patients. We'll see you soon. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Gestalt Education Show. If you liked it, share it, subscribe to it, send it to your friends, send it to someone that needs to hear this message. We really want everyone to be able to tune in and get the best clinical advice that they can, which we're hoping that we're giving to you with these special guests. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, or if you have any suggestions on upcoming conversations, let us know. For a list of our upcoming courses, we're adding them all the dang time. So go to gestaltedu.com, click on courses, and they'll all be right there for you. All right, have a good day.